don't know. But that's, what about they don't have any? Well,
Do you see what we're doing for you?
Okay, let me work on this. I just haven't finished it, so I just need you to work on some other stuff.
Oh, yes. Priscilla, we'll need to speak with my sister Kate.
Oh, okay.
I think just stepped away. She may have just stepped away for the ladies' room.
Okay.
But what we'll do is we'll give you roses.
Maybe you can tell us.
Well, there we go. I got you on camera,
Are we
brother. This is
assigned
what I'm
any
doing.
particular seats?
This thing needs a director.
Closer. Come on. What are you hanging back for? Come on. Hey, over this way. Over this way. Come on, move over. Come on, Tom. Move over. You gonna play the piano? Are you playing Happy Birthday?
They're saying surprise and
Are you playing?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Suzanne. Happy birthday to you. Yay!
Were we successful?
Were we successful?
I didn't call you.
I thought Jim and Melissa were going to
Right.
Where do I start hugging? Where do I start hugging? She was surprised. I was scared. Before I said
Right when we went to open the door, she went. When Dad and I interrupted the door, I thought it was a birthday.
Hey guys.
Yeah, that's what happened was we went right this way, so my dad and I did.
Well, I guess I don't have to worry about you two driving up in the snow tomorrow.
Hi, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Happy birthday. Surprise. Did you name everybody? Did anybody name
We have to like lead you.
Hug everybody.
Hug everybody. We'll bring you happy birthday. Happy birthday.
One of the features that I'm setting you apart on comment. Oh my God.
Happy birthday!
Did you see? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because I have a suit on.
In Florida again, Albert? Is that a tan?
Well, no, it's warm in here.
So I said, can we get together Saturday for your birthday? I said,
You know what?
about coming in.
See, if you were observing, you would have noticed the cars in the parking lot. If they say
I was looking for cars in the park. I was looking for the van.
I told him you probably weren't noticing cars because you were talking.
No, I was actually looking for the van because Alice said something about coming here and here. I looked, I didn't see it.
She's got another table to see.
Besides, it's dark.
That's right.
Did we do good, Suzanne?
We're moving you along. Well,
She wanted.
happy birthday. I
No, I don't think so.
He used to call and he'd say, what are you doing? I said, I'm waiting for you to come in a white horse and take me out of here.
1 minute.
Around here.
The Hershey's Kisses. Happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you. My goodness gracious. Yes, they did surprise me. Yes, they did. Happy birthday.
Because I know you all are hungry. Special birthday bar stool.
Oh my God.
If everyone could have a seat, I think they'll still go ahead and pass hors d'oeuvres around if you're desperate, didn't get a stuffed mushroom yet. And we have a short program that way you can get back to eating. Basically, Mother, I'm sorry, I've heard that she was a little disappointed that Alice went into Mom and said, this is a pretty big birthday for you, isn't it? Like 60 or something? And we should do something. And it came up about, well, let's all go over to dinner tomorrow night at Jim and Nilifar's. Oh, like that's fun. No, I'm sorry, Jim. But not particularly anything special. So poor Mom was a little, disappointed. So I hope that you're not disappointed. There's a lot of people here in a program to people who have loved you, want to wish you the best, and also have a pretty good free meal.
And we're not having dinner at Jim and Nilifar's.
Yeah, you're babysitting tomorrow night. So enjoy it tonight. So as you see, Suzanne Hetherington, this is your life. Suzanne, up, and there she goes. You ready to drink?
Turn around. Show them your book.
Oh, you have your This Is Your Life book.
Oh my God. Creative memories.
Suzanne Elizabeth McGurty, for those of you who don't know, was a native of Pittsburgh, born, traveled a fair amount, lived in different areas, which we'll get into later, but also met Dad through an ad selling her wares. And it was a car. Look how many people here have their minds in the gutter. What kind of car was it, Mother?
1960 Volkswagen convertible.
Did he buy it?
No.
Did you know he had money?
Many's the time that Jim and I thought it might have been better if he'd have bought the car. But then we made up.
Many people asked me, and I'm sorry, I couldn't remember how long you guys have been married. How long ago was this that you finally tied the knot?
38 years.
38 years, February 17th.
That'll be 39.
Once, 39 years ago then, she joined up a rather large extended family here in the Pittsburgh-McKeesport area, and met a lot of new people, and is certainly welcomed into the family. We have several mystery guests here tonight, and our first mystery guest you met through the family, and she also has known you for many years since you were married, and shares your love of language. And if we can hear from our first mystery guest, please.
Happy birthday, Suzanne. Who is this buggy in here?
I wondered where you were.
I'm honored to be a guest at this great occasion, and now you're as old as I am. I first met you at a wedding shower for cousin Judy, and that was Judy's first wedding. Over the years, we've played a lot of games of Scrabble, and we've had a lot of laughs. We've played many games over Jim's snoring. We played by our own rules. If I put down a word that wasn't right, instead of challenging, you'd say, "What the hell is that?" And I'd take it back. Remember the time I put down F-U-G-G-Y and you said, "What the hell's that?" I said, "Fuggy's a word." You didn't believe me, now look it up.
That's true.
Fuggy is a word. Fuggy's inside, muggy outside, so it's fuggy in here. We had a few occasions to use that word, then we giggled. We giggled a lot, and we laughed a lot, and over the years we had many, many conversations about everything under the sun, from Harry's nose to Jim's paunch. You were always willing to lend an ear to my complaints and troubles, and also share my happy times. If I had to describe you in one word, it would be friend. That's friend with a capital F. Happy birthday, and many, many more.
Suzanne, do you know who our mystery guest is?
Gee, could it possibly be my cousin Betsy?
Are you cousin Betsy? Yay! Come on out.
I'm their favorite cousin Sharon.
As you guys know, is here with her husband, Harry. Harry? With Harry. There you go, stand up.
Stand up, guys.
Her son, Roy Lynn, who came in from Ohio with his wife, Vivian, her daughter, Edie, and Edie's husband, Mike. Many of you know that Mom has always had a love of the arts, of music, and of theater. And this goes way back to high school plays, where she was a lead in Our Town. And you may not have known she was offered a drama scholarship to study theater at the Pittsburgh Playhouse, which she turned down instead to go to get a college degree at Mount Mercy, where she studied both math and English and a few others. Math
As a math major, physics minor.
Physics minor. And I could say that there were a lot of advantages as well as disadvantages to having a mom who's a math major and English expert. I used to be a major, I think you majored.
No, I was raised with a dictionary called my mother.
Well, so were we. But she did finally, actually went back to, she left college when she met Jim and got married, but she decided to wait until it was a little easier to go back to school and finish her degree after she was, while she was raising 4 children and working full time. Her music has always stayed with her though. She's been very active with the McKeesport Symphony Orchestra. She's the web wench for their website. And she also is the sings in the choir. She's been very involved in the community with the symphony, the hospital, and representing the McKeesport private ambulance service and the funeral home at many functions. Our next mystery guest has some stories to tell of her relationship with Suzanne. Next mystery guest.
Hi, Suzanne. Our friendship goes back many years and has had few, if any, bumpy times. A few years ago, as I was learning to use my new computer, my lack of knowledge probably put a severe strain on our relationship. But you always came through with the solution to my problem. Sometimes it was a phone call, sometimes a visit in person, but there you were helping to unravel the situation I've gotten into. Then, of course, there is the symphony. Much of your time has been given to helping keep this organization afloat. Many times we talked through our frustrations with complications that seemed and sometimes were unsolvable. A labor of love, I'm sure. It's a way of listening to problems without being judgmental. Thanks for that. When we talked on Christmas Eve, you mentioned that your birthday was on Friday and that probably nothing special had been planned. At least nothing that you knew of. Surprise, surprise. Happy birthday, my friend.
Suzanne, do you know who our next mystery guest is?
Oh, gee, I don't know. Could it be Priscilla?
Priscilla?
Come on down.
Come out, come out. Are you Priscilla Watson? Priscilla Watson is joined with her husband Dawn and is active in the McKeesport Symphony Orchestra Board with Mom. Actually just stepped down, just finally, after many years of service, as president of the board. It was the only way was to get them hidden back there, so they got a bit of a height. So. Look at this! Oh my gosh!
You never said a word. Never told me. Goodness, and you didn't say a word either, Dawn.
Yeah, we threatened.
Looking pretty good.
And you at front table.
Right here. Okay.
Yeah. One thing I have to say about Mom, and I'm sure everyone here will, is what a person dedicated to helping other people in service that she is. Someone who is always takes out time to help out. She's sewn costumes till 3 o'clock in the morning. She's edited and sometimes rewritten papers for school. And even up to recently, she comes down and helps out with me personally, helps out with my husband and I. She's come down and done marketing for the company and taken time out. She was painting the baby's room, and you name it, she takes out time for whatever needs to be done. And I think that actually in talking to a lot of people who have, in putting together this event, one of the interesting things is many people spoke of her as feisty, as a survivor, and then a lot of that goes back to how she was raised and her experiences. And many of you may not know that she had kind of a tough growing up, that her father, who worked for U.S. Steel, passed away when she was 10 years old, and that her mother had tuberculosis and was in the TB clinic in Pittsburgh. So Mom was kind of shuffled around with different family and friends who always were very welcome to have her as someone who was smart and helpful. You know, many people go through adversity, though, and they become a survivor. And when you think about the word survivor, you think of someone who is kind of gets by with minimalist, can make it. But I think that Mom's someone who kind of took it to the next level and is someone rather than just surviving, but a possibility thinker, and who, if you ever say, well, you can't do that, Suzanne, she'll find a way to do it. And there's always a time in someone who lives life to the fullest and a real possibility person. It's something that she certainly instilled in all of us, the 4 children. Let's see where our next notes are here. She actually, part of her travels took her to Texas, where she lived with a friend and friends of the family. And if you ever sit next to Mom in church, you'll hear that she still prays with a southern accent. You hear, "Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name." So
They tell me I do that.
But certainly has set the standard of what it's like. Well, our next guest is someone who also has some special wishes and some special memories of Mom. And so let's hear what our third mystery guest has to say.
Happy birthday, Suzanne.
Is that all?
It was mentioned already that you had the lead in our town. I can remember stories and hearing you actually practicing around the house and for other plays and musicals that you were in, where everybody in the family knew all the words to the songs by the time you actually were in the play. There are other things that you did also growing up that might not be the kinds of things you'd want to advertise too much. I'll just throw out a couple names, like the sewer that you and Zita and Danny and Michael formed, apparently. Also, the time that you complained about the fact that you always seem to have a curfew on dates, and Mary Ann didn't. And so Mary Ann and Jack took you out one time on a double date and brought you home so late you complained that you were missing your sleep. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful birthday and many more.
Suzanne?
Well, that's Walter.
Are you Walter? Walter who?
Oh, come on. Okay.
People know?
It's Michael's brother.
Are you Michael's brother, Walter?
My cousin Walter. From Michigan. Yes, from Michigan. You came all the way from Michigan.
Through the snow.
Oh my God. Thank you, sweetie. And my roses are black.
Only you. White ones.
Only you. Okay.
I like the rear view mirror.
A cane with a rear view mirror.
And a horn.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
Well, I give you a little background about Mom growing up and the many roles that she had as a scholar, as a talented person, a musician, as an active community member, and certainly mother. But many of you may not also know other roles of a traveler, fiction writer, grandmother, adventurer, web mistress, genealogist, editor, wife, and friend. You can all, I can't even read my notes, excuse me. Oh, well, I don't know what that says. We have one last mystery guest, though, who can speak to the other role. So if we can hear from our last but not least mystery guest, please.
Well, with Suzanne, it started a long time ago, almost 40 years. Back in the early days, we were as close as ever. Oh, there were others. Oh, every 2 or 3 years, another appeared to challenge my dominant position. 3 others, to be exact. The first one was hardest to swallow. It was very difficult to share Suzanne with anyone else, and it even came to blows. Blood was spilled. But we all adjusted over time. I was the one that was up all night having papers edited, and I wasn't much into the theater, but I do remember one night up all night sewing a kite for the kite contest. But one by one, the others left to find their own way. I, however, stayed around. I remember when the last of the other 3 left, moved to D.C. to follow political aspirations or something. Suzanne, Jim, and I went out to dinner, and the stark reality hit them. There we were, just like it was in the beginning. Recently, another's joined the fray, a young challenger who's already knocked me out of my lead role in Suzanne's heart. Well, what can be said? Rumors are that others will follow. I guess with Suzanne's 60th birthday, it's time to recognize it's okay to let others share this Suzanne Hetherington. Happy birthday, Suzanne.
Suzanne, who's our last mystery guest?
Oh, your oldest brother, Tom.
All hail. Well, in closing, what we have is we do have the book, which of photos that many people have sent. We put together, and as long as your hands are free of mayonnaise, you're welcome to put through it. And if we now could offer our thanks for the upcoming meal, and as a result, the person who is recently challenging the throne, I believe, is going to help with that. Master Evan Brendan Hetherington. Maybe. He may be being shy now.
He's coloring.
He's coloring.
So.
Coloring, praise to the Lord. Coloring, praise to the Lord.
Coloring wins.
It's tough. God has to compete with that all the time. Yeah, he'll go from pop.
Bless us, O Lord. Go ahead. Bless us, O Lord. These are gifts which we are about to receive from thy body. Christ our Lord. Amen.
You get to sit right over there.
Bless Nana.
So
you got the food blessed and be blessed.
And what else can you do? And they're going to serve salads. It's not, which I thought was going to happen. And then I'll take care of it. And the buffet on. And let's get them moving here. My Excel spreadsheet said this should have happened 5 minutes ago. You're sitting right there.
With my mystery guests.
You're sitting with your mystery guests. Oh, this is a message from Pat. You have to hit it again. Click.
Who that is? That wedding. Do you know who that is?
What I think this is.
Go to a Playhouse scholarship. You were to go to college, not an unreasonable decision, but to major in math? And you've probably put it all together, surely being among the first wired housewives, and probably one of Prodigy's earliest subscribers, the McKeesport Symphony's webmaster, member of its chorus, and indefatigable board member. Patrick got to know you best during the early days of our marriage when we lived in Highland Park. I was pregnant and staying at home. He had a 15-minute commute. You, however, had to rise early to dazzle visitors downtown as a receptionist in the first new Alcoa building. How many mornings did we wake into your frenzied opening lines? Oh my God, I overslept. Call me a cab! And like as a postscript, my mother actually told me that the women who worked in the diner used to applaud her when she got out of the cab on time. We are with you today, Suzanne, and we ask that everyone join in our toast. If you have a glass, please to raise. To a cherished sister, a woman of substance, who has nurtured both her family and her community for decades. Love, Margaret.
Cheers. Cheers.
Thank you.
You'll have to excuse me, I've been sick, so I may be a little hoarse, so maybe you won't be able to hear me.
That's it, get close.
Okay. We were putting together some thoughts about growing up, and one of the things I was asked to help contribute to was some of our thoughts in what some of Mom's sayings were growing up, and some of the things we heard around the house while we grew up.
Get on mic.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mom, honestly. We did screen them. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
All the ones I suggested were thrown out. But what I want to say is that when I thought about these things, all I could think about was growing up, when I remember Mom with how I related to Mom, as a teen or even younger, you just cannot appreciate how much somebody dedicates their life to doing the things that you need to do. And when I was 12, that's what Mom does. She takes me to school, she picks me up, she takes me before you were late. You just didn't have the appreciation for it. And I think that we tell a story that when I left if you left the house and went to school and forgot your lunch, the worst part wasn't going hungry. The worst part was Mom bringing it there. Because she'd show up in a Bob Coville for council shirt on and some shorts and some striped socks that didn't match and tennis shoes. And they'd say, "Is that your mom?" I'd say, "No, she works for my mom." But, it's a joke. But in reality, if my mother could have stopped and said, "I have to care about how I look before I step out of the house," she wouldn't have had time to work with the business and pick Katie up just as Jimmy needed dropped off. There just was no time for that. And I think that as a parent, I don't know if I'll be as selfless with my children because you don't see that your mother's someone that has a life and interests of her own, etc. I doubt that I will be. I don't even have kids yet, and I'm already looking into a nanny. So that's a true statement. The negotiations have already begun. So I guess when I look at it, I think it was kind of it was a precursor to some of the things that we heard. But I just want to let you know that all the things that popped into my head were things that reminded me of the sacrifice that my mother made for all of us growing up. So rearing kids Mom's way. Tomatoes are raised, children are reared, yes. I'm not as intelligent verbally as my mother, so I never got the stuff growing up, which is why it was easier for me. But number 10, don't talk back to your mother, your tongue will stick out of your grave. Number 9, cakes are done, people are finished. Another one that I never understood. Number 8, I want all this screaming to stop now.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on.
I want all of this screaming to stop now.
I was never delivered like that.
Well, I apologize, but I told her I'd clean it up a little bit.
Screaming to stop. No!
Usually this happened right after I heard the words, we didn't put them up here, "Hello, Hetheringtons." They asked me, what do I remember Mom saying growing up? This is what I remember. "Hello, Hetheringtons," answering the phone. Next. Yes, we're leaving as soon as I find my purse. Next. Don't touch that or I'll rip your arm off and beat you over the head with my bloody stuff. This I understood.
Walter taught me that.
Now we know.
Walter taught me that.
Next. Well, do you think you need stitches? It's funny because Nilafar asked me when we first started going out, she's like, what's that mark from? And that one? No? Next. Be home before the street lights come on. This was the rule. I still, whatever. Next. Why? Because I'm a rotten mother? Yes, I'll drive. Look it up, you'll remember it longer. This is actually the famous one. Again, I was not verbally gifted, and I'd asked my mother. She said, look it up, and I never did. So I never really did it.
So you never learned it.
No. So, thank you very much. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the last one, I apologize. But thank you, Mom, very much for at least 32 years of dedication.
Good evening, everyone. I have a special letter to read from someone from Suzanne's past. She's going to have to fill us in on this person. The letter goes as this. Dear Suzanne, congratulations on your 60th. I have many fond memories of our years at Sacred Heart High School. Plays, boyfriends, Omega Chi, classes, and the notes we passed during classes, chorus, dances, lunchroom, and more. It doesn't seem like 40-some years ago. Best of luck in the future with your many talents, activities, and wonderful family. I'm sure it will be a rich and enjoyable time. Love, Ronnie McKenna, Beaver.
Thanks, Jerry.
Are you going to tell us who Ronnie is?
Pardon me? Who is Ronnie? Well, when I was Suzanne McGurty at Sacred Heart High School, everything was alphabetical. I was in the seat in front of Ronnie McKenna in all of my classes. And Rosemary Connell was very seldom in any of my classes because she was a C and I was an M. But Ronnie and I got to be really good friends, and it seemed as though I would start a sentence and she would finish it, and it was just very odd. We had this affinity right from the beginning, and we were very good friends. She was one of 12 children, and poor thing had lived in the same house and gone to the same school all her life. I felt sorry for her. But yes, that's my friend Ronnie. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Our next birthday wish also comes from afar, and this is from, I mentioned that Mom had a brother, Jimmy, who was married to a woman named Linda. They had 2 kids, both of whom are now married with children of their own. Linda lives in Norfolk, the other son live in the South. I don't know if it's a Southern thing, I don't quite know how to work this technology, but this is what they sent.
Federal Express.
They FedExed it.
Okay.
Try it again. That was really exciting. Here it goes.
Okay. Birthday, okay. All right. Oh, we did it. Is that it? We ought to put your other film in and do a brief of watch name. Yeah, that's what I have to do. Yeah, that's what should we rewind it and make sure
In case you didn't hear it, I think the funniest part is when someone says, maybe we should rewind it and see if it worked okay. Somehow they didn't think to do that. So, and I think we have some other messages.
Okay, I have a letter from a friend. It reads, Suzanne, I'm so glad that your family has done this for your birthday. There is no doubt that family is the most important value for you. It is for me too, and that is why I still return to Pittsburgh. You and a few other of my dearly beloved friends are there. The pictures are from my album. One is you and I in Aunt Dot and Uncle Walter's living room just before going to your senior prom. And the other one we took in the same spot when I was ordained in 1965. That is John's 18-year-old Joshua and 15-year-old Jane Christine with me and our Beanie Babies. If I remember well, and it's 61, sorry, one doesn't always, but if I have it right, I was in Aunt Dottie and Uncle Walter's home that fateful day when your date for the prom got pneumonia. I think it was Al Walsh. Anyway, as panic-laden calls went out to see if they could dig up a date for you, I literally began to try and slither out of the house. You see, I used to be quite timid, and I was a 50s seminarian, but I'm happy to say that I didn't get out. It was a very nice experience. You were, and still are, a very beautiful and vivacious woman. I was telling Kate, sorry Jim, that even my own brother John was one of your many heart-throbbing, smitten, and man, or whatever.
Boyfriends.
Yeah. May that deep love and enjoyment of family grow in you. Thank you and Jim for keeping in contact with me and for helping me on so many occasions with my projects in Santo Domingo. Much love, Tom Buell.
Thank you.
Hi everyone. When Kate talked to me tonight about doing a best wishes toast for Suzanne, she also asked if I knew any stories that we could share. Well, as we all know, Suzanne has done so much for the community in the Mon Valley, and her kindness and good deeds are obviously well known. And she's done a great deal for the hospital as well, even spent some time as a visitor a few times, which we appreciate. But I think that she's done so much for so many people, it's tough to pick one story. But there is one I'd like to share, and as might be expected because of she and her partner in life, Jim. It involves Jim as well, too. We attended an event up at the country club one evening, and we found out we were coming across dinner. It was pretty close to dinner time, and we realized that we didn't have someone to do the invocation for us. So we thought who could actually provide the invocation. And given Jim's experience in life, I perceive him as somewhat spiritual at times. So I thought he would be a good person to do that. So I asked Jim, and he hesitated just slightly for a minute, but being much like Suzanne, obviously he's always ready to help anyone in need. And he said, give me just a minute, and walked away. And about 10 minutes later came back in hand with a full invocation, ready to go, shared it with the whole group, and afterward everyone pretty much agreed that it was probably one of the finest invocations they had ever heard. And now the rest of the story. I went up to congratulate Jim afterward and told him how great a job he had done, and he called me along the side and he said, I gotta tell you, I didn't really write this. And I says, well, who? He said, well, I stepped out, I called Suzanne, and in about 10 minutes she created this invocation, typed it, and faxed it to me so that I could share it with the group. And that's the rest of the story. Suzanne, you shared a prayer with us once, so we would like to share a prayer with you for continued good health, best wishes, and much happiness for you and all of your loved ones for many years to come. Happy birthday.
So sweet. The mother's other sister, Nancy, had 3 children, 2 of whom are daughters that were married and have children of their own. And are you doing both?
Yep.
They did it twice for some reason, but they're both hysterical, and they're short. So you'll have to
Featuring their dog.
featuring their dog as well. So this is from Laurie, Jenny, and their families who wish they could be here.
What? Wait. No, this is for Aunt Suzanne. Wait, we're missing a child. Yes, everybody sing, Jack, Henrik, you guys sing Happy Birthday?
Are you kidding me? Okay, wait. Stop.
chance, so we're sending along a little happy birthday. Happy birthday, yeah. Okay, everybody, speak to them in church.
Hey.
Okay, thanks. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Aunt Suzanne. Happy birthday to you. Lori and Jenny and Max and Jack and Henry and Hayden. Yay! Have a great party. Bye. Birthday. Bye. That's everyone.
Good.
Happy birthday, Aunt Suzanne. Happy birthday, Aunt Suzanne.
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Dear Aunt Suzanne. Happy birthday to you. That's nasty.
You know, there's a rule in the theater, never follow children or animals. And I'm doing both. My mother is a member of an organization called the Housewife Writers. And Ms. Gloria Rosenthal sends this poem to you and is very sorry because she and Pam Kang had both planned to come and both were not able to come at the last minute. So if you will all, if I can ask just you to bear with me while I read this little poem. HWs met in Hershey in a state of euphoria. Suzanne, Pam, and Peach, David, Hammer, and Gloria, plus Stephanie, Terry, Jan, Janice, and Lou. All in all, it was quite an exceptional crew. Of course, some of us acted a little unstable. Hammer danced in red boa on a swanra table. Pam's creme de menthe brownies had us all reeling, or was it the wine that gave us that feeling? By day, David lugged around dear little Rosie. At night, slumber parties were friendly and cozy. We went to the outlets and bought lots of stuff, then dined with the Amish, eating more than enough. Lou brought a laptop, so we stayed in touch with absent HWs who were missing so much. Gloria Mom couldn't let the whole weekend pass without teaching, so forced us to sit in her class. And we'll never forget Suzanne running amok, asking all those big truck drivers why traffic was stuck. Now, if wishes were wings, we'd all fly in a flash just to be with Suzanne at her big birthday bash. Much love from Gloria. And as a postscript, all the Hershey kisses that we've been feeding Brendan ad nauseum, they were all sent courtesy of the Housewife Writers who had this big reunion in Hershey, PA. So that's what that was about. Thank you. Oh yes, and therefore, and be that as it may, I need to introduce the next Soundwave file, which is actually from the Housewife Writers. Yes, indeed. Mother, folks who couldn't be here.
They are not all housewives and they are not all women. but
that's the name of the group.
That's the name of the group. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. What's to do here?
Get the volume up.
There you go. A little louder. There we are. Okay.
And now, from high above the city of McKeesport on the 11th floor...
Wait, there's nothing taller in McKeesport than the Hetherington Funeral Home.
On the 11th floor of the Hetherington Funeral Home.
It's only 3 stories.
You're messing up my intro.
What intro?
My intro to Suzanne's birthday wishes from those internet writers she hangs out with were paying the big bucks for me, a professional announcer, to record this.
You mean the Housewife Writers?
Yes, they would be the ones.
But they're not dead. What would they need with a funeral home, and why would they go to McKeesport to die anyway?
You're messing up my intro.
Oh, screw the intro. I'm the producer here. Let's get to the point. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Suzanne. Happy birthday to you.
God, that sounded awful.
For what we're paying you, it couldn't have sounded any better.
Who are these Housewife Writers anyway?
It's a long list, and if Suzanne's friends are smart, they're going to cut and run for the bathroom right now.
You're not going to talk about the frog thing, are you?
No, Suzanne's going to have to explain that. Charlie Alexander and Peach Alexander, Beth, Maria, Ruth, both Pegs, Bowen and Bradford, Myrna, Jim, Secret Agnet Man, Jer, Take No Prisoners, Dufresne, David, Imponderable Feldman, Patrice Fitzgerald and her nasty cousin, Frisky, Shawnee, Joanne the Monk, Bruce, Hutch, Terry, Stephanie, Nancy Hummingbird 2, Virginia, Joanne P., Jen, Debbie Puente, Gloria, Neela, Karen Spiegler, Lint, No Octobers, Lou, Hammer, Jenny Lowe, Cindy Mobley, Jan Tyndall, and a special guest appearance from Larry in Fresno. We all love you. Happy birthday, Suzanne.
I'd be afraid. Who do you hang out with on the internet?
Somebody worried.
Suzanne, this is another letter from a friend of yours from afar. Suzanne, dear, although I'm in Florida, my spirit and happy thoughts are with you now. I am counting on your children to give you a birthday hug from me. And I'm raising my glass tonight to toast Suzanne at 60. Here's wishing you love and laughter, health and happiness, and certainly hoping there is truth in that saying, and the best is yet to be. I have always had a Suzanne at 10 in my heart's eye, and now with our recent visit, feel so fortunate I am able to add to that picture memory one of you now, beautiful of face and beautiful of soul. The inspiration for the letter remembrance comes from this poem with which I believe you are familiar. I couldn't resist making sure these items were available to you, should you ever become old and can still remember where you put them. Happy birthday with love from Kendall then and Kendall now. And she sent a poem to you. Warning. When I am an old woman, I shall wear purple with a red hat which doesn't go and doesn't suit me. And I shall spend my pension on brandy and summer gloves and satin sandals and say we have no money for butter. I shall sit down on the pavement when I'm tired and gobble up samples in shops and press alarm bells and run my stick along the public railings and make up for the sobriety of my youth. I shall go out in slippers in the rain and pick the flowers in other people's gardens and learn to spit.
Happy birthday, Suze. I won't say too much because there's probably a lot of things you would rather I didn't bring up anyway.
That's probably true. Rosemary's one of my oldest friends.
But I was thinking tonight about that day in September 1952. 52.
Oh my God.
First day of 7th grade.
Yeah.
And this chubby little blonde girl shows up in a pair of cowboy boots, right from Texas. We're all saying, who's Tex? But we found out she was very smart and very pretty, very nice. She stole my boyfriend, Andrew. But since he turned out to be a pig farmer in Indiana, I forgive you. And I realize maybe you don't. But it wasn't me, it wasn't you. I think it was those cowboy boots, to tell you the truth. But then I remember in high school when I got sick for a whole week, and I was out with the flu, and while I was out, you moved all my stuff out of the locker and moved Ronnie McKenna in. You must have thought I wasn't going to survive. Well, that I don't forgive you for. But we made it to 60. And we'll see 72, I'm sure. Happy birthday.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, I don't have a videotape because I'm the niece that lives in town. It seems kind of odd. Growing up in McKeesport, one of the kids that
that's local, hearing other people call you Aunt Suzanne. But it was nice to have met some of your other nieces and nephews. But for those of you who don't know me, I'm Susan Hetherington, the niece. And I bring to you, Aunt Suzanne, a very special wish for this birthday from Geraldine and her children, the Hetherington kids who have, for the most part, stayed in the family neighborhood. As I look back over the years, the very first thing that comes to my mind when I think of you is the beautiful young bride, the first I'd ever really seen. And my total amazement at your excitement over a gift of an iron that you received as a wedding present. I'm wondering how attached you stayed to that iron through the years. If you ask my sister Faith, she will be quick to claim credit for your coming to the family. She claims that Uncle Jim consulted her about which of his girlfriends to marry. Isn't that scary? I spent many years of my childhood being annoyed by the fact that Grandma started calling me Suzanne just a short time after you were married. In fact, I actually told her once that I had been in the family 6 years before you. However, in the more recent years of my life, as I began to experience the same mistake as an occasional patient at McKeesport Hospital, I've learned not only to enjoy being mistaken for Suzanne, but to milk it for all it's worth. We'd like to thank you for the gift you've been to our family over the years, for being there to share the many birthday cakes and the Christmas cookies, for making Janie's first communion dress and Bridget's confirmation dress, for having a kitchen where we all felt comfortable, a kitchen full of kids in stocking feet, for being an adult who talked to kids like they were real people, for encouraging creativity in your own children, for the things you remember and the stories you still tell, and for growing older with such grace that we've hardly noticed. On this your 60th birthday, wishing you always walls for the wind, a roof for the rain, tea beside the fire, and the love and laughter of those you hold dear. We love you.
Aunt Suzanne, I have a special greeting from Aunt Rita in Florida. Suzanne and I go back to the time when she first joined the Hetherington family, which is all the more reason why I'm sorry I can't be with you this evening. In order to appreciate the following anecdotes, you must recall the following. Number one, Jim's mother, Gertie, Mom, and Grandma, was an exceptional cook. She enjoyed cooking, enjoyed discussing the process, and enjoyed watching others enjoy her creations. Nothing was too much trouble if it had to do with her boys. She waited on them, as the saying goes, hand and foot. In fact, she appeared mildly disturbed when Jim intended to marry, saying more than once, "I don't know why that boy wants to go off and get married. He's got a good home here." So much for love. I remember our first meal with Suzanne and Jim at the Hetherington home. Gertie had prepared her usual fantastic spread. I'm not sure how she regarded the fact that Suzanne smoked, but I'm sure she wasn't thrilled when Suzanne accidentally dropped her ashes into the applesauce, which you understand was homemade and not out of a can. The rest of the meal went smoothly, and we all settled down to enjoy dessert. A few minutes later, Jim announced he would like more coffee and looked expectantly toward Suzanne. Suzanne favored him with a long, level look and asked sweetly, "Are your hands painted on?" All of which was designed to win favor with one's future in-laws. I'm sure, if you listen closely, you could hear the echo produced by thousands of sisters exclaiming, "Way to go, Suzanne." At any rate, there were those of us who knew why Jim wanted to get married, especially after we had met Suzanne. Time has only reinforced my positive first impressions of Suzanne. She is of quick wit, the gracious smile, the devotion to arts, a remarkable woman who has produced 4 remarkable children, a writer, computer whiz, loyal wife, and true friend. Suzanne, happy birthday and God's blessing. Much love, Rita.
The folks in Florida actually sent a video. This is Aunt Rita, is Dad's brother Bob's wife. They have several children who are married and have their own children and had their own story to tell and best wishes to share.
We're all sorry that we can't be there with you, but we sure do appreciate having the opportunity to send you a heartfelt birthday wish and maybe even a remembrance or two of years gone by.
Is this going to be a long story, Jerry?
There are 2 particular instances in my life where memories of Aunt Suzanne really stand out. And I think at this point in time it might be well worthwhile to recognize both of those 2 occurrences. The first occurrence is quite a number of years ago at my dad's funeral. I can remember coming away from the grave and going back in the limousine, and as you could imagine, pretty shook up about the whole deal. And there was Suzanne, not quite a newlywed, but still a young woman, new to our family, relatively new, and thrust up in the middle of this, and she took it on her own, on herself, to console me, and just walk with me and talk, and it was very nice. Very nice. And the memory has stuck with me till today. Well, hopefully till tomorrow too. But anyway, on a lighter note, there's also the idea of my whole life, my family, my children, everything would have been markedly different if I'd had a wife or children at all. We have Suzanne to thank for all of this. The way the story goes, or at least the way I remember the story, Suzanne was having, I think it was Kate. She was having Kate, and she was in McGee Women's Hospital, and Fran, my wife, was one of, who wasn't my wife then, I didn't even know her. Fran was one of the nurses that was taking care of Suzanne. And Suzanne was so taken by this nurse and just her outlook and her attitude. She was so vivacious and just had a good time with her. And if I remember correctly, Suzanne had asked her at that point if she ever goes out on a blind date or, she listed that sort of thing because Suzanne had a nephew who was in the Navy and would be coming home in a few weeks and, yada yada, that sort of thing. So, as it turns out, Fran was agreeable to the idea. I was given the right phone number, the introductions were made, I took Fran out. In fact, I took Fran out several times on that leave. And everything else since then has turned out to be really pleasant and worthwhile history. The 5 children, my wife, it's just been a great life. And we have Suzanne to thank for making the introductions. Thanks, Aunt Suzanne. Happy birthday to you.
Hi, Suzanne. Happy birthday. Can't believe you're 60. Kate asked me to say something about your role in my life, and I just need to correct something that the big guy said. It wasn't quite while you were in labor. Since you were busy with other things, I don't think anybody reminded you of anybody. Then a couple months later, I got a phone call, and that's how Harry met Sally. And, apparently I reminded you of someone when you were in labor, but I think you had other things to do. So actually, maybe we don't have Suzanne to thank for our long years, which are coming up on 29, I guess. I guess it would be Kate. If it weren't for Kate, none of this would happen. So thanking you from the bottom of my heart for my husband and my 5 children, I really will thank Suzanne instead of Kate. Happy birthday, and hope you have a wonderful party.
And 16th birthday. God, first of all, I never dreamed she was that old. She still
like, we don't have enough to do every, damn holidays, now I can't. Yeah, the tape's on. Oh, hey, how you doing? And Suzanne, we just want to make, we're all together here at the holidays. We just want to make a tape wishing you our very best. Okay.
We're doing that song for Aunt Suzanne for her birthday. Do you have anything you want to say? Hello? Aunt Suzanne, Suzanne, just want to wish you a happy 70th birthday. Damn, I thought she was older than that. We're doing that video for Aunt Suzanne. Do you want to say anything? Who?
Happy 39th, Aunt Suzanne. I just wanted to say that anybody who loves gin martinis and can swear with impeccable grammar is my favorite breed. Happy birthday.
Hey, Aunt Suzanne, once again, happy birthday. We're sorry we can't be up there for it, but frankly, we had a better offer. And so we just couldn't make it up there. But glad you're, doing well here at your 1680. And who's older? Is it you or Uncle Jim? No, seriously, one of my very first recollections of you is at your wedding. And that's, since I was just a tot at the time, that's really, all I can remember is in the background. And I remember playing with Tom and Alice. And, this was the wedding. Oh no, who was there? I don't know. Was Tom out? Was he at the wedding? Yeah, okay. And no, my brother Tom and Patty, that's it. And walking around, and there was all this white and stuff. I didn't know what was going on, but I had a good time. And that's all. Now John wants to say something here. Go ahead, John.
Suzanne was pretty cool. I had a good time with her. Suzanne, everybody had a good time. Suzanne. We're talking about Suzanne Summers.
And Suzanne.
Oh, hey, happy birthday to you. I like her too. She's a great woman. And she is definitely my favorite granddaughter too. Suzanne who? Did she used to iron for me? But no. We're filming. Oh.
Happy birthday, Aunt Suzanne. Hi, Aunt Suzanne. Happy birthday. I just want you to know that because of you, I was the envy of all of the third graders on the playground. I was the only 8-year-old who knew how to make a white Russian. And when I got to ship, I was the envy of all the boys because I could swear better than any of them. Thank you very much. And sorry we couldn't be there, but I hope you have a great birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Suzanne. Happy birthday to you.
Here she comes. No, go ahead. Suzanne, I sent some material. I sent some material to Kate, and I'm hoping that either Kate or Alice will read it. Just some fond memories of our first meetings at the Hetherington Mansion, and things I remember very fondly. But at any rate, I have a message for Jim, and that is, we're very glad you found her. All of us are. Happy birthday, Suzanne, and we know which birthday it is, and we know who you are. We love you.
Happy birthday, Aunt Suzanne. I just want to thank you very much for introducing me to this quite unusual family. Like I said, this unusual family. Thank you so much, and have a great 60th birthday.
Hey, seriously, Aunt Suzanne, I just wanted to say happy birthday again. We miss you. We're sorry we can't be up there. And we appreciate all your hard work while you're here for Thanksgiving and everything you help out with every year. And once again, we hope you have a very, very nice birthday. Okay, thanks. Come on. Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
It's time?
Yeah,
Yes, you're on. Roll. Come.
Well, I can't roll. And Suzanne, happy 60th birthday. I hope you have a great time. You certainly deserve it for all those years of putting up with Big Jim and his cronies and all of the things that have gone on. Happy birthday.
Suzanne, happy birthday. I realize you are 60, but you look like you're 40. This is the end of a perfect Christmas day, and we all just wanted to say happy birthday. I'm done. We're going to have to edit this later.
Clock's ticking.
My husband's sense of humor. I don't get it. Okay, we all need to smile and take a picture. Hello. Yay! Everybody say hey!
Hey! Just hold it down. Hold it down.
There we go. Okay. Now we're moving into the home stretch, and we'll have cake soon. But I have the top 10 list. The top 10 things you will never hear Suzanne say. Drum roll. Thank you. Number 10. Looks a little dangerous. I don't think I'm going to try that. Number 9. Travel? Oh no, I'm more of a homebody. Number 8. Marry and I, marry and me. I'm not sure which would be correct. There were 2 number 7s. 7A. Sew 20 costumes by Thursday? Oh, I don't think I could. 7B. I'm sorry, I won't be able to attend your homeschool event tonight. And can you find a ride home? Number 6 thing you never hear Suzanne say. No, I don't know how that person is related. Number 5, which speaks to Mr. Odd's story. You need a speech by 5 p.m. tonight? I couldn't come up with something that quickly. Number 4, I'm sorry, I have too many things on my plate. I really don't have time to help you. Number 3, what? Water ski at my age? Number 2, computer schmooters. I'd take my old typewriter back any day. And the number 1 thing you'll never hear Suzanne say, a place for everything and everything in its place.
All the dirty laundry out on the table.
We don't own a washing machine.
And we have our...
It's getting late.
That's it? Yes. I know.
Good evening. First of all, I want to thank you all for coming out on such a cold winter night. I don't know about you, but I don't function well this kind of weather. But I want to thank you all for coming out and help celebrate this surprise. And I think that, you know, a few years ago, on my birthday, I had a cellular telephone, one of the first. And my oldest son, Tom, he was always running around, where's my phone, where's my phone? So I gave it to him. I said, take the phone. And a year or so later, I mentioned to Suzanne, I said, you know, I didn't use that phone that much, but it was a security blanket. You know, you had it with you all the time. I said, I sort of miss that. So she was going away to the Ukraine to see Jim. And I was going on a trip, and I was walking through the building, and I hear the phone ringing. And at that time, the ambulance phones rang first through the funeral home and then went to the dispatch center. And I thought, that phone became unhooked somehow. So I go charging out to find the ambulance phone. There was nothing wrong with it, and this phone was still ringing. I went in here on the bed, it was a new cellular telephone ringing. I answered it, she said, happy birthday. And then she started it. I did it. I pulled it off. I surprised him. He knows everything, he knows everything. When he doesn't know the stories, call and tell him. And I was able to do it. In order to do this, she had to get a secretary at the hospital to get Tom Patton, to find out where to buy the phone. In the process of doing all this and having the meeting to buy the telephone, she runs into Billy Richards coming out of the hospital. And she had to swear him to secrecy. So this evening, Suzanne, we reversed the tables a little bit. And this time, well, we'll give you a toast. To our wives and our sweethearts, may they never meet. Oh, no. What's the other one? Here's to the dear that isn't here, dear. For if the dear that isn't here, dear, were here, dear, you wouldn't be here. Hey, the girls loaded these wrong. To you.
Thank you. Here.
And with that, I think we have a cake.
Cake.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Suzanne. Happy birthday to
Amy, he's doing it again. His mother's going to get mad at you. Come on, help Nana.
Thanks.